Minecraft vs. Zombies 2 is quite the game, I would say. I've already made one part, if you haven't watched it already, where it covers both beginning chapters, where we venture through the Halloween world with Orant, the Soul Sorceress, where we fight Frankestein. Then, the Dream World, where we hang out with Doremi Sweet from the Touhou Project, and fight Slenderman. Yeah, Slenderman. If you've already seen the first part, and if it's not obvious by the way I'm describing it, you already know and can see how hectic this game can be. And trust me, it gets even crazier. With creepy elements, a lot of Touhou references for some reason, and anime girls, we're in for a wild ride with this chapter. We finally reached Gensokyo. Crazy Dave wants to visit Korendo. In the Touhou Project, Korendo is an antique store, which is a store we unlock in the game, run by a girl named Tokiko. We learned that the original owner, Renosuke Morichika, another character from the Touhou Project of course, went missing by the hands of Minecraft zombies. What a shame. To start this third plotline, we receive a letter from the Shining Needle Castle, requesting our aid. And that's where we go. Chapter 3 is actually the first chapter in quite a while, believe it or not. Minecraft vs. Zombies has been running for a whopping 10 years, which is kinda crazy. After 3 years, this chapter finally came out. As you viewers should know by now, this game is full of Touhou references. I think it has more Touhou references than Minecraft ones at this point. The Shining Needle Castle is a castle that's located in the sky, home of Shimyumaru Sukuna, whoever that is. If you don't remember, artifacts are items that assist you through battle. Right now I have 7 artifacts. We just unlocked the Dream Butterfly in our last world thanks to Doremi, where contraptions are invincible for 3 seconds after being built, which I have on at the moment. I also have the Creature's Heart that we unlocked from killing Frankenstein, which subtracts 5 contraption costs for each same contraption on the battlefield, which is pretty effective. And lastly, a Sweet Slip Pillow, which Doremi gave us as well, which restores 10 toughness per second. The castle takes place at nighttime, so we're sticking to small dispensers again. But this world is a little different from the other 2 chapters. There's a curve, similar to the roof levels, so the biggest difference is, in the waves, the entire screen goes upside down. The reason why it does this is because in the Touhou Project, the castle went upside down due to consequences of a magical and taboo wish, causing the castle to flip, which is what happens here. It's not that annoying, as thankfully by the waves I already have all the contraptions I need, at least sometimes. I then unlock the wooden dropper, which rolls balls down the lawn. It's a really silly and fun plant. I'm surprised there's no wooden droppers in the real Minecraft now that I think about it. Supposedly, Steve and Crazy Dave are there to find Shimimaru. The screen then blinds me with holy light, and we're introduced to Saija Kijin, who's a major antagonist of the Touhou Project franchise. She has the power to turn things upside down. I wonder if there's a correlation with what happens in the waves. We're then introduced to a wither skeleton with a crown, the Mesmerizer, which is a very interesting and pretty important enemy. It can mind control your contraptions to turn against you, and the only way to make them stop is to kill it, or use glowstone around the contraptions, making glowstone a pretty useful contraption finally. After day 2, we unlock the spike block. It's pretty much the spikeweed of the game, hurting what enemies are on top of it. Crazy Dave and Steve then encounter a little girl that came out of a small jar, and it's Shinmimaru Sukuna herself, the princess of the Inchlings. Inchlings are a species of tiny people in Japanese folklore. Turns out she's the one that sent the letter speaking about the wither skeletons invading the castle for a year now, and now we're here to save them. After day 3, we unlock the stone dropper, which spits out small stones. It's a little bit of an upgrade compared to the wooden dropper, but sometimes it will shoot out a boulder that can push enemies back. Then, Shimimaru spits out some lore. Supposedly, an Amanujaku fed her false history that led her to causing massive trouble to Gensokyo. An Amanujaku is a small, demon-like creature in Japanese folklore that's known for inciting dark desires. They pretty much work against human desires and are meant to provoke bad deeds, urging others to perform evil acts. Saija Kijin is a said Amanujaku. In Touhou lore, she tricked Sukuna into believing that the Inchlings were oppressed by others for many generations, which led to her fighting to bring glory and honor. Supposedly, Saija Kijin is still friends with Sukuna, which is odd. Wasn't she tricked by her? Whatever. Then, we're introduced to the Berserker on day 4. The Berserker is a genuine pain in the butt. I had to restart a few times because of it. But the Dream Crystal comes clutch, blocking the explosion from occurring. We didn't need the Dream Crystal that much because then we unlocked the Stone Shield. It's literally just a pumpkin, but it's really effective for the Berserker in favor of using an extra lane for defense. Sukuna then gives us backstory. 3 years ago, an explosion occurred that brought the Minecraft monsters. What could this mean? Day 5 was a usual level, and after we unlocked the Diamond Spike. It's a spike rock to the spike weed, it's an upgrade. We figure out that Saija Kijin might be hypnotized by a mesmerizer, which forces her to be evil. But wasn't she evil before? She was the one that tricked Sukuna after all. Could I be confused? If there's something I miss, please put it in the comments below. What I like most about this fan game is the ongoing story it has. The storyline is consistent, and like I said in the first part, I like the implementation of the Touhou elements in Japanese folklore, even if it can be considered random. Yes, the YouTube title of my first part could kill somebody purely by reading it. There's a minigame for Day 6, which is refreshing. Purely playing the same levels over and over again gets old at some point, so it's nice to have a break. It's not like the levels are boring though. The level design is a nice balance. It doesn't get too overwhelming, but there's some sort of difficulty as well, like Day 4 or Chapter 2's boss. It's not too easy, and it's not too hard either. The Day 6 minigame involves little enemies with a selection of contraptions to use in your conveyor, wooden dropper, obsidian, and a lot of TNTs. Afterwards, we unlock a golden apple. I thought it was meant for healing, but it's actually not. It was honestly one of the more weirder concepts for a contraption. When you think of a golden apple, you think of its healing or regeneration powers. So I thought it would work as a healing plant. Maybe someone like a loaf from Plants vs Zombies too, but it doesn't work that way at all. I don't know. It's weird. It's literally a hypnotrope. On Day 7, we introduced my favorite enemy yet, the Dalahan. Although the Lahan is technically a reference to the skeletons on skeleton horses, the Lahan is a mythological creature of Irish folklore. I could be mispronouncing it. It really supports my point that this game is really effective when it comes to adding folklore and characters that really stand out from one another. He's a headless rider on a black horse, who carries his own head, and this enemy is exactly that, but as a withered skeleton. He can jump over contraptions similar to a pole vaulting zombie, but once it's dead, it will leave its head, forming 3 individual monsters. I love this enemy's concept. Day 7 isn't like the other days though. The beginning of the level is typical. My guard is down, I don't expect anything, but I didn't get any contraption or anything after beating it, which I thought was strange. Well, Saija Kijin is back, and we find out she really is hypnotized by the mesmerizer. I'm just sitting back reading the dialogue when suddenly, we're put into a battle with this said hypnotized Saija Kijin, which is completely unexpected. I had to send in lawnmowers as the lawn was overwhelmed with mesmerizers and the lahans, as well as bullets spinning through the area. I lost 3 mowers, I really didn't expect it. Though, the battle didn't last too long. She died fairly quickly, after 2 to 3 minutes. A mesmerizer fell from the ceiling afterwards, which is kind of funny. But the reason it was up on the ceiling in the first place, because it was taking advantage of Saija's ability to hide up there. Now, we must wait for her to wake up. We unlock the Thunder Drum. When the Thunder Drum is triggered, it will knock all enemies into the air, knocking them back and changing their lanes. It will then need some time to repair. I like it personally. It's like a better version of Spring Bean's plant food. The thing is, apart from the magic chest, gravity pad, and the spike block, it's one of the only contraptions that aren't Minecraft based, which I thought was odd. Saija then wakes up and there's drama! Saija finally calls out what I've been thinking for so long. Saija did manipulate Sukuna and she was kinda acting like they were friends. But Sukuna finally tells her to leave, but before she does, she tells us about the Wither, who obviously leads the Wither skeletons. Does this mean we're going to fight the Wither for this chapter's boss? I hope so. It would be nice to fight an actual Minecraft boss in a game called Minecraft vs Zombies 2. Not Slenderman. Still love that boss though, jokes aside. Day 8, I had more slots on because of the shop, so I had a lot of variation of contraptions than before. Afterwards, I unlock another contraption that isn't Minecraft related at all. The Tesla Coil. It electrocutes whatever enemies are surrounding it. Simple plant. You won't catch me using it compared to plants like the Stone Dropper or the Silver Insert though. Not until the end. The lore continues. We finally freed the Anchlings from the jars, but naturally so, they blame Sukuna. One straight up asks what she's really done for them, which is kinda crazy, and she dips. Sometimes I think the game's lore is actually more interesting than the gameplay itself, funny enough. I love the gameplay. The tower defense formula will never get old for me, but I like that there's a hidden story to it. Day 9 then hits me with an overwhelming amount of monsters. Gas, mesmerizers, berserkers, and a new one, the Hell Chariot. It will crush all contraptions on its path, but once it dies, it will release a coffin, awakening a newbie sand, a mummy. which is who killed me the first time as I had no idea how to kill him. He sent in a lot of soil sand that acted as barriers. The next time, I was smart enough to bring piston sensors for the gas, and the spike blocks for the Hell Chariot. Then I unlock the giant bowl. I don't know what the pattern is of contractions that are unrelated to Minecraft at all. When you store star shards in it, it'll slowly generate more. It's not a bad plan, but similar to the string from the second chapter, I don't really depend on star shards enough to use my redstone or a slot on it. Thankfully, Sukuna comes back and introduces the miracle mullet that's a cursed treasure that the Angelings have. It's capable of granting any wish, but it demands an equal price. In the Touhou Project, the miracle mallet also has the power to change an object's size, though she asks for one request: to defeat the Wither. Believe it or not, unlike the other chapters, Day 10 is not the final boss. It's the usual level. I lost one lawnmower because of that damn floating on Ubi sand. I still struggle to take care of them. The Wither skeletons then literally declared war on us through a scroll. Who knew they could write? That's pretty neat. Starting off this boss, it starts off as the usual conveyor level like the other bosses. They give you all the contraptions you collected. The conveyor is pretty fast too, so you're overwhelmed with contraptions. Afterwards, the Wither is built, just like in Minecraft, and here it is. It obviously looks a little different than in Minecraft. Its face is more evil looking, probably to make it more intimidating. The best contraptions to use on it are the stone pumpkins and the golden apples, as it's vulnerable against it and it's able to fall under the golden apple spell temporarily, which is why I saved them. But here's the problem. The game does a very bad job in explaining how to kill the Wither. The Wither at first when I played took no damage to the entire boss, and I sat there like an idiot not knowing what to do. I died, then I died again. The game just fails to explain what to do, and it sucks. It's frustrating. I honestly had to go to a YouTube video to know how to beat him. I had to mimic a strategy I saw on YouTube, and thankfully that worked. You have to really depend on those stone pumpkins, as the Wither will run towards your lawn and demolish most of your contraptions if not. It has two phases. Its first phase, it can only be attacked by projectiles, and its second phase, only contraptions like the Tesla coil can damage it. To add on to what I was saying, the game does not explain this to us. The Wither is practically impossible on harder difficulties if you do not watch a YouTube video. When we beat the boss, Sukuna thanks us with an artifact, an imitation of the miracle mallet. The chapter also ends with a bitter conclusion. In a way, Sukuna still lives in misery. She still blames herself for what happened. I wonder if there will still be a resolution with that. But that's not all. Remember that letter from the dream world? How it was too blurry to know what it says? Well, now that we're not there anymore, we're finally able to read it. But Crazy Dave, for some odd reason, refuses to give it to us. Weird. Then, an unexpected guest appears. A completely different art style from not only the Minecraft characters, but even the Touhou ones as well. Look how different these two girls look from one another. They request aid in the Majoran Temple, leading us to... The Majoran Temple, believe it or not, was previously a ship. It was named the Palanquin ship, used to sail to Makai. Makai is known as the Dream World, though it's separate from Gensokyo, the other Dream World. It's merely a place where demons and strong yokai live. It's pretty interesting that there's two different dream worlds, right? So the girl that brought us to the Majoran Temple is known as Futo, a supporting character, and you guessed it, the Touhou Project. She's a Shikaisen, formerly a hermit, which are beings that are endowed with supernatural abilities that are acquired through religious training. We learned this girl's name from another person that also looks different from Futo. Did they use two different artists? I don't know. There's an inconsistency when it comes to the characters. We haven't learned this person's name yet. Day 1 starts and it's clear there's only 4 rows instead of 5. Like how in Plants vs Zombies the Turbious Crater Trail also has only 4 rows. It's also another night world, though this isn't particularly something I enjoy. As this is the second time we've had a nighttime world, it feels like I haven't seen the contraption machine in quite a while, and I haven't used the furnaces at all. It's a basic night, nothing unique about the waves just yet, and we unlocked a jukebox. Finally, a Minecraft block. It shoots musical notes, which bounce back and forth between itself and the enemy, which is kinda cool. And the best part, the closer the enemy is, the more damage and the faster speed it will have. There's some exposition and we learn about Steve. He's not from the Minecraft world, as we learned previously. He's a real human, even though Steve is cubic in Minecraft, but oh well. He also has a prosthetic right arm that he got when he fell into a coma? Did I miss a few pages? This does not happen in the other chapters that I know of. Does this happen in the first game? I don't know. Weird. On day 2, we're introduced to a zombie that can counter the jukebox, which is funny because we just unlocked the contraption. Oh well, it pretty much deflects projectiles, similar to the screen door zombie. We're also presented to something I like, a monster spawner. It works exactly like in Minecraft, though at least for this day, it only spawned in the final wave. Afterwards, we unlock the lightning orb, very similar to the Tesla coil. There goes contraptions that are from Minecraft again. It's quite the interesting contraption. Instead of taking damage, when it's hit by any enemy projectile, it will use that said projectile to heal itself. This mysterious person speaks about a giant that appeared in Gensokyo 2 years ago that was accompanied by another giant as well, causing chaos. They subdued this said giant and sealed it in the Halls of Dreams Great Mausoleum. It lies directly underneath the Majoran Temple. It's meant to hold many spirits, and now the giant as well. It's technically not an actual giant though. It's a group of zombies fused together, which is kind of funny to think about. Can you imagine that? Day 3 finally brings back the skeletons, though afterwards we unlock the split tensor. It's pretty much a split P, which means we're most definitely gonna get an enemy that goes behind the lanes. Afterwards, we meet another character. I wasn't wrong about the anime girls, huh? She's introduced as Saiga, one of Miko's friends. Turns out, that mysterious woman I was speaking to is Miko. I probably missed her name or something in the game because the game treats it like I knew her name already, so I'm just slow, that's my bad. Like Fudo, Saiga's a hermit, but a wicked one. I can create holes through walls with her hair clip? That's pretty interesting. She's heard that we're here to clear out the zombies. For assistance, quote unquote, she gives us a new artifact, the talismans. It's pretty effective. It can control the zombies and make them fight for you if you killed them. In return, she asks us to use these said talismans to reinforce the barrier. Steve is pretty suspicious about this though, especially because she tells us not to tell anyone. I wonder if we'll have the option to choose whether or not to use a talisman to reinforce it. Especially because Fudo introduces the concept of wicked hermits on day 4 and speaks about how they pass through walls and rule the dead by talismans. Definitely cannot trust Saija, whatever her name is. Day 4 introduces 2 zombies, one of them being the wicked hermit zombie, which is why Fudo mentioned them in the first place. I was right about an enemy that goes behind lanes, and that's what it does. It uses an iron shovel to get behind us, which is the use of split tensors. I expect this contraption to be pretty useless later on. The second zombie is the talisman zombie, which jumps to move and can also heal itself when attacking. Afterwards, we unlock the Devourer. It's a pretty tough looking design, I would say. I like that it actually looks like a Minecraft block, unlike some contraptions. It's meant for the monster spawners. They're the grave busters of the game, since unlike the gargoyles in the Halloween world, the monster spawners cannot be destroyed by contraptions. It can also recycle placed contraptions back into your selection. For this second mechanic, I don't really see the point in using it for that. I understand it to make the Devourer more than just a monster spawner buster, but I don't see myself ever willingly recycling contraptions. If I place them there, they stay there. Miko, I finally know her name so I don't have to call her the mysterious woman, speaks about 2 smart people that knew a lot about contraptions, and they might be responsible for the emergence of zombies, but we don't know why. Yet. After day 5, we unlock the command block. It's the imitator of the game. The 2 contraptions will have 2 separate recharge timers, which makes it very useful. While resealing the giant again, Steve for some reason takes out the talismans, which isn't very smart. The talismans, on their own, fly toward the giant, somehow causing the seal to break, sticking onto the giant's head. It then fell off, turning into a red zombie? Who knows if the giants escaped or not. Day 6 though is an iZombie level. It's a nice change of pace. Like I said before, I enjoy when there's that level that's unique compared to the others. It has 3 waves and it was pretty easy. After beating this level, we unlock the Hellfire. It's the Torchwood of the game. It's my favorite Plants vs Zombies replacement as I thought it was a creative way of incorporating the Torchwood. Obviously, fire stays to the netherrack, so it makes sense. So the reason why Saija wanted to trick Steve into releasing the talismans in the first place was because she wanted the giant to herself to experiment on. Why are Miko and Saija friends again? Miko trusts us to handle the giant now. I think we all know what the final boss is. Day 7 introduces the Shikaizen zombie, who's actually really creative. He has a bamboo staff that he plunges down into the ground when it's reaching low health, which creates a totem. This totem will revive all nearby defeated monsters. Day 7 is a typical level, and we unlock quite the interesting looking contraption, the Necro Tombstone. And honestly, it's one of my favorites. It can summon endless armies of skeleton warriors to fight for you. It's very useful, and I will most definitely be using this contraption for quite a long time. Fudo mentions the incident 3 years ago and calls it a murder. On day 8, the ghosts come back. It feels like I haven't seen them in a while, since the Halloween world, believe it or not. It was a longer level, 3 waves, which I enjoyed. I think the best way to create a Plants vs Zombies level is to make it a nice, slow-paced level. Not a quick, rush one, as you're either desperately putting down defense and scent-producing plants, and there's no strategy in having to rush plants in. I know games like Plants vs Zombies 2 or the Plants vs Zombies 3 beta, they have short levels because there's a lot of levels in one world. But personally, I prefer shorter levels, like 10 to 11 rather than 20 plus, that are longer and more memorable. Then many levels, I feel like they're all the same. After beating the 8th day, we unlock the Black Hole Bomb. It creates a mini black hole that, after exploding, sucks in all surrounding monsters. I'm gonna give you a little fun fact. In the game, there are secret artifacts that you unlock, but they are very specific. And the game doesn't really tell you how to unlock, you just have to figure it out yourself. So if you use the Black Hole Bomb's Star Shard power in Chapter 2, The Dream World, you unlock the Bottled Black Hole. For every empty blueprint slot, you get plus 10% damage. That means hypothetically, if you leave every slot empty but keep the small dispenser, since it deals 20 damage normally, you can have a small dispenser that can deal 100 damage. Let's try to beat the 10th level with only the small dispenser. Yeah, you can. Now, let's go back in time. Steve questions Crazy Dave for running off to do who knows what, asking if he's hiding something. I definitely think it has something to do with that letter from the Dream World, because he freaked out and refused to show what the letter really said. Day 9 introduces the Emperor Zombie. It uses its holy sword to grant divine shields to nearby enemies, making them immune to the next projectile or damage that hits them. Afterwards, we unlock the Desire Pot. It can duplicate start shards created by monsters in the lawn. It's a meh contraption, honestly. The cost is way too much to be used. 125 is a lot for a packed game like this. Saiga then stumbles across Steve once more and pretty much manipulates him. Supposedly, there's someone that recognizes Steve, that could possibly be a family member of his. Throughout the game, the idea of who Steve's family is and how he's obviously different from the others is brought up a lot throughout the game, probably to lead to this plotline of him being manipulated. Before anything could happen, my girl Miko appears, preventing him from doing anything else. Supposedly, Psycho really doesn't know anything and was using it to purely manipulate Steve. In the Touhou Project, this is pretty in character. She doesn't care about anyone, only manipulating them purely for her own ends. Before I started day 10, I decided to get another secret artifact. If you use the Star Shard power on the gravity pad in Chapter 3, you unlock the Broken Lantern, which I think is worth it compared to the Bottled Black Hole. It does plus 25% produce speed, attack speed, and times 50% light range for glowing contraptions like the Glowstone. These are the only 2 secret artifacts right now, and turns out, you can actually get hints by the location's almanac entries. That's pretty cool, right? Anyway, I finally went through day 10 without just small dispensers this time. It was another long level, which I enjoyed. After I beat this level, I unlocked a scroll that's a declaration of war from the zombies, though in the language of ancient China. It's time for day 11. It's a typical conveyor level, but in the middle wave, the background changes to pitch black, flying colors spinning all over the blackness. But all of a sudden, a large roar occurs, and the giant appears. The giant's mechanics are quite interesting. It will move behind the lane, which is where the split sensors come in handy. I took advantage of the black hole bombs completely. It can go back and forth on lanes by taking itself apart, as well as smashing what contraptions are in front of it. I killed it once, and I thought it would move on to its second phase, but it died 4 seconds later. That's odd. For killing this said giant, Miko provides us an artifact, the Light Bomb. It produces a blinding flash when set off, scorching all creatures on the lawn. Then, Tokiko, the one that owns the shop, calls us through the phone, which is also an artifact, by the way. Tokiko urges us to come back to Korendo. There's a bunch of zombies attacking her. We handle the group of zombies, and a mysterious person comes in. Oh my god, it's Sound Only, the one and only! I'm just kidding. Some person that knows our name. and they warn us that they don't want to see us ever again. And that ends Chapter 4, The Python.